I don't want to read this book aloud. Written by Max Greenfield, illustrated by Mike Lowery. Max Greenfield was Schmidt on The New Girl, if you did not know that. This book is meant to be read aloud. This book is meant to be read aloud. If it's okay, I don't want to read this book aloud. Again, and I don't mean to be rude, but I'd really rather not read this book aloud. Thank you so much. Okay. For the very last time, I do not want to read this book aloud. I don't want to read it out loud either. It's dopey words like aloud that make me want to remain silent. Whose idea was it to read aloud anyways? It certainly wasn't mine. It wasn't my idea. Ugh. I guess now is as good a time as any to address the elephant in the room. Hello, elephant. Hello. I think I know why you don't want to read this book aloud. And I think you know why too. I think it's because you're afraid. No. Duh. Oh, maybe I read that wrong. Maybe it's supposed to say, no, duh. Not sure. You know, they say elephants have the smallest brains of any animal, even smaller than cats and snakes. Maybe that's why they inexplicably spell their name using a PH instead of an F. Hey, that's not fair. Next to going to the dentist, reading a book aloud is maybe the most terrifying thing a person can do. Here is a list of other things I'm afraid of. Elevators, ding, bumblebees, bzz, purple vegetables, outer space, rodents, mummies, all of my teeth falling out. Eek. I don't totally trust the drain in the bathtub, but I'm not afraid of quicksand anymore. Also, my friend's older sister said that she was scared of something called FOMO, but I'm not afraid of that and don't know what it means. Just thinking about reading this book aloud gives me a stomachache. Any number of terrible things could happen. I mean, what if I lose my place? What if a random thought pops into my head and I forget where I was? What if a nearby volcano erupts and what am I supposed to do then? Start over? Just thinking about reading this book gives me a stomachache. Any number of terrible things could happen. I mean, what if I lose my place? What if a random thought pops into my head and I forget where I was? What if nearby volcano erupts? What am I supposed to do then? Start over? Then there's the sound of my own voice. Sometimes I'll stop and listen to myself when I'm reading aloud. This is always a mistake. This is what reading this book aloud makes me sounds like to me. Oh, goodness, I did it myself. Wah, blah, wah, blah. Blah, blah, wah, blah, boo. To, do, foo, do. Blah, blah, dunk. Aplomb. Aplomb is a word I've never seen before in my life. I'm not even sure how to pronounce a word like apple, omb. What am I supposed to do when I'm reading a book aloud and I run into a word like aplomb? Do I just throw the book as hard as I can out the nearest window? Because under no circumstances am I willing to humiliate myself and admit to the whole entire world that I have no idea what an aplomb is. And I will not ask for help. I'd be happy to help. So glad you ask. A plume. A plume is a tricky word, but beautiful in its structure and usage. It means self-confidence or assurance. If I were to use it in a sentence, I might say, you are reading this book aloud with great aplomb. I'm never reading another book aloud again. Merely suggesting that I read this book aloud will forever be remembered as an unforgivable act. The only thing I'm thankful for is that this book isn't a chapter book. Not even the most awful human being or condescending elephant would ever ask someone to read a chapter book aloud. Sigh. Just the thought of it makes me feel like I am drowning in quicksand, which, come to think of it, I am still afraid of. Also, why is everyone looking at me? Chapter 2, Bravery. Bravery is overrated. Also, what about the courage it takes to say, I'm not comfortable reading this book aloud? I mean, just because some random elephant suggests it doesn't mean I should have to do it. And if that elephant doesn't like it, that's an elephant problem, not a me problem. I already told you it wasn't me. Go away, elephant. I'm on a roll here. Today we stand up for the not-so-aplume, the shy ones, and the quiet ones. We stand up in support of reading to ourselves, and maybe instead of reading aloud, what we should be doing is a whole lot more of is listening aloud. Because if I can listen aloud to you, and you can listen aloud to me, then maybe we can listen aloud to each other, and let the aloud readers read aloud. Let them read so aloud that it can be heard from ocean to ocean and sea to shiny sea, because it isn't us against them or us against an elephant. This is about who we are and choosing when to use our voices once we've discovered them. After all, isn't the world already aloud enough? Thank you. The end. And that is the end of the book. Oh, what happened? What I miss? Oh no, FOMO. And I like this bio, so I'm going to read it. Max Greenfield is a New York-born actor who is best known for being interrupted by his two beautiful children, Lizzie and Ozzie. As he writes this bio, Max tries to tell them that this is important and to please leave him alone. But neither child believes this, as they are certain that mommy is the one who is with more important things to do, and daddy just acts silly on TV sometimes. He is also the author of I Don't Want to Read This Book, and this book is not a present. I thought that was funny. Good night. I love you.